Peter DeBoer is out as head coach of the Dallas Stars. Let's talk about it. I'm Justin Ehrenberg and welcome back to another video here on Justin Sports. If you like the content that you see, be sure to leave a like, be sure to comment, and be sure to subscribe because listen, that's the only way this channel is going to grow if you guys like the content, which I hope you guys do. Now, if you don't follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and X, be sure to do that as well because listen, if you like the content that you see here, I guarantee you're going to love the content that you see there. So be sure to do that. It's only a matter of time before you find it anyway. Now, let's get into Peter DeBoer and talking about today's situation. It's been about a week now, or just over a week, since the horrific falling outing of Game 5, where they lose to the Edmonton Oilers and get gentlemen swept, basically. Reverse swept, or no, not even reverse swept. Just lose Game 1 and then get swept by the Edmonton Oilers. Or win Game 1, sorry. But yeah, Peter DeBoer, this whole thing has been kind of in the air for the last week. Jim Neal, said that, it was a tough decision. He didn't know whether or not it was going to happen. It took him this long to decide whether or not he wanted to keep DeBoer around for a fourth season. He was the head coach or the bench boss for the last 3 seasons in Dallas, taking them to a Western Conference final in each of those seasons. But after the Jake Ottinger situation in Game 5, in the players' exit interviews, a lot of stuff came out, apparently, more than just the Jake Ottinger situation and how that was handled, but more than just that. So power to the players for coming out and talking about it and not just like hiding it or, not talking about it if they didn't feel like they were being treated the right way. But Peter DeBoer is seriously going to have a handful of teams line up for him for his services as his next job. Like I said, been to I think it's 7 Western Conference Finals in a row. Been fired from each of those 3 teams, which is just crazy to think about. It is simply crazy to think about. But yeah, he's going to have a lot of teams line up for him. He's probably going to have the Jim Montgomery treatment, as in a team might fire their current head coach to land Peter DeBoer. I wouldn't be shocked if that happens. Peter DeBoer basically has 2 options, I think. A coach is fired for him this summer, or he waits until next season, the start of next season, and waits until a contending team really just doesn't have a good start. They fire their head coach, and Peter DeBoer is the answer, and probably goes back to another conference final and loses from there. But let's be honest. If you think this is anything to do with Peter DeBoer as a coach and what he has done in Dallas over the last 3 seasons, you are wrong. You just simply are wrong. It's all about the Jake Ottinger situation. Don't overthink this at all. His last 3 seasons in Dallas, he has a 149-68 record and has gone to the Western Conference Final in all 3 seasons. Listen, that doesn't mean that you fire that head coach. It's just a situation that happened with Jake Ottinger after he was pulled in Game 5 and then going to the media, which proved to be something that you probably shouldn't do, calling out your number 1 goaltender, that franchise goaltender that just signed a massive extension that he's not leaving. So if you do that, you either want to leave or you're just trying to, I don't know, gather the room or just spark light in the room, knowing that next summer or next year when they come in, they better be dialed into what you say. It's doing that is probably something that Peter DeBoer is going to take as a lesson and moving forward and not do it again because, we're at a point in the NHL where coaches can be replaced. Players more likely are going to stay. That's where we're at in the NHL. And that's kind of the situation here with Peter DeBoer. I don't think that anything is bad in terms of his coaching. I don't think he was fired because of going to the Western Conference Final and losing to the Edmonton Oilers once again, back-to-back years of doing that. And listen, after the first 2 rounds, it looked like Dallas was the cup favorite, to be completely honest, and then they just ran into a freight train that just simply does not want to lose in the Edmonton Oilers. But you can't look at this and say Peter DeBoer was fired based on not getting, the job done or getting the results, because he really has got the results in the past 3 seasons. He also has got the results wherever he's been, whether that be San Jose or Vegas. it's simply one of those coaches that you hope finds his way to a Stanley Cup sooner than later, because it just seems to be something that, like Paul Maurice, for how many years did he chase it? 27, I think, 26, or 30, I think it actually was. He just simply chased it his whole career and finally got it last year. You hope the same goes for Peter DeBoer at some point. But yeah, at this point, I would not be shocked to see. Well, okay, I'll put it this way. So the last time this happened in Dallas, when Jamie Benn and Tyler Seguin were called out, they, meshed it over and they kept it together. This time, it just seemed, from what I'm assuming, why you're firing Peter DeBoer. This is all my opinion. It just seems that it was not going to be fixable. It doesn't seem like that situation between Jake Ottinger and Peter DeBoer and the rest of the team was going to be fixable, and that is part of the reason why they decided to move on from him. Now, I could be totally wrong. Like I said, this is my opinion, but yeah, when we're looking at the facts, it's pretty damning to say it's anything else but this situation. But yeah, that just about does it for this video, because there's not much else to say. Dallas should be fine. I think, like I put out a video yesterday, I think their championship window is over. They don't have a lot of cap space for this summer. They have RFAs they need to sign next year. It's looking like it's not going to be. They're set up. They're going to be a contending team. I just don't think that they're going to be championship favorites like they've been for the last 3 seasons or 2 seasons. Yeah, it's simply like that. And now, but we'll see where Dallas goes, who they hire. They're the only team looking for a head coach now. After every single top candidate came off the board, it's going to be interesting to see where Dallas goes in that direction. Do they pick up a Gerard Gallant? Do they pick up a Laviolette? Do they go John Tortorella? Do they give a new guy a chance? Do they, throwing out a name here, Gardner McDougall, do they tell or interview him for a chance at their head coaching job? It'll be interesting to see where Dallas goes from here. But that just about does it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. And like I said, please subscribe, please leave a like, and please comment down below. And I'll see you next time.